If somebody said this at Fox News,
yeah,
they'd be walked out the door.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. Look,
This is enormous insubordination.
Welcome, everybody. Hope you're doing well wherever you're listening or watching today. You may not be stunned to hear that Fox News anchors were completely stunned and perplexed by the fact that on MSNBC and NBC, there were anchors who, in expressing some modicum of journalistic integrity, had the gall and the audacity to say, hey, we don't think Ronna McDaniel should be working here. We covered this yesterday. Former RNC chairwoman Ronna McDaniel, after working alongside Trump to try to set up a fake slate of electors in order to steal the 2020 presidential election, which Donald Trump did not win. After all of that, she quit the RNC, got hired at NBC as a political analyst, and then a number of NBC hosts, Chuck Todd, Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski, and others, expressed that they don't think Ronna McDaniel should be there. This came as a total and complete shock to Bill Hemmer and others on Fox News. They can't believe that you would see this sort of insubordination. It's shocking that some people might have some principles that they publicly express. Listen to this.
Ronna McDaniel, former head of the RNC, apparently was hired by NBC.
Apparently.
I don't know if she's going to keep her job or not, but apparently their heads were blowing off yesterday. This is a little bit of what happened on, Meet the Press and then Morning Joe a bit earlier today.
I have no idea whether any answer she gave to you was because she didn't want to mess up her contract. She has credibility issues that she still has to deal with.
Yeah.
Is she speaking for herself or is she speaking on behalf of who's paying her?
We weren't asked our opinion of the hiring, but if we were, we would have strongly objected to it for several reasons.
We hope NBC will reconsider its decision. It goes without saying that she will not be a guest on Morning Joe in her capacity as a paid contributor.
Turn this around. Like, if somebody said this at Fox News,
yeah,
they'd be walked out the door.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. Look,
This is enormous insubordination.
enormous.
The highest standard is that we behave the way the bosses want to behave. It's stunning insubordination. How dare they allow this?
So you would expect something like this from Joe Scarborough. He's a far left opinion commentator, but I was really...
By the way, Joe Scarborough is a former Republican congressman. If Joe Scarborough is now far left, is anyone on the right, would be my question.
Disappointed to hear Chuck Todd, someone who is a journalist, comment on this in that fashion. And here's what I would ask him as a journalist. Look, you're a journalist, Chuck Todd.
By the way, now Kayleigh McEnany says she's a journalist. What? Everything is backwards.
Who at your network, at NBC or MSNBC, represents the 46.7% of the country that tells Real Clear Politics average, when you look at all the polls, we support Trump? I couldn't find, and I looked today, a single person on their roster that represents that really half of the country. Ronna McDaniel, I saw her hiring, and I was like, good for them. She does represent that wing of the party.
We need the insurrectionist election stealer wing of the party represented. Otherwise, they're taking my freeze peach.
But if you can't accept her, who would you accept? Who would you accept?
I was thinking the same thing, Bill. Like, if you have a problem with your employer, like, you do that publicly? I would never do that. Yeah. If you have a problem like that, but they are so willing to stick with their ideology and
yes,
to be so rigid in it that they are willing to do that to their employer.
They are so rigid and willing to stick to their ideology. There's another interpretation for that. They aren't going to be bamboozled into shutting their mouths. They probably did express discontent privately. NBC still hired Ronna McDaniel, and now they're in the position of jeopardizing their own integrity by having to pretend to do the stupid little interview with Ronna McDaniel like she's a normal person rather than an insurrectionist, anti-democratic force in the MAGA wing of the Republican Party. So they are going public. Yes. Now, maybe they'll get fired. That's their problem. NBC could take the side of Ronna McDaniel and say we're firing Chuck Todd and Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski and Rachel Maddow yesterday had a segment on this. We're firing all of them and we're going to keep the insurrectionist here. I doubt it. And what those individuals are doing, and it doesn't mean that they're perfect. It doesn't mean NBC is perfect. If NBC were perfect, they never would have hired Ronna McDaniel to begin with, you could argue. But they are speaking their minds, and it is beyond the pale, according to these Fox News anchors. It's quite stunning to see the reversal of morality that is taking place there. We'll see what happens with Ronna McDaniel. Breaking a deeply ingrained habit is one of the toughest things to do. Our sponsor, Fume, can make it easier. Not everything in a bad habit is wrong. So instead of a drastic, uncomfortable change, remove the bad from the habit. And that's, quite frankly, what Fume helps you do. Fume is an innovative, award-winning device that delivers flavored air. That's it. There's no vapor. There's no nicotine, no electronics. It's just delicious flavored air delivered by the cylindrical Fume device that fits in the palm of your hand. It comes in tasty, refillable flavors like raspberry lemon, orange vanilla, grapefruit crisp mint. The Fume device goes in your pocket. You can carry it around. It has movable parts and magnets, so if you're fidgeting or want to, it's great for that, and it's just a useful thing to break bad habits. And it provides that perfectly satisfying hand-to-mouth mechanic that many people love. Don't judge Fume until you've tried it. They have helped countless people make positive changes, and you could be next. Head over to tryfume.com and use code PACMAN to save 10% when you get the Journey Pack, which comes with the device and several flavors to try. The link is down below.